れが私忘れ物はそんなにしないんです。むしろ持ってきすぎちゃうタイプで、さっきの薬品とか。
Top 10 Underrated Shounen Anime. The anime medium is smothered with a stupid number of unappreciated shonen, and in this video, we'll be talking about the top 10 underrated shonen anime. Now, make sure you have pushed that like and subscribe button. Well then, shall we begin? Starting from number 10, the first one on our list is Kekkai Sensen. This shonen is one of those where you have a lot of different stuff packed to create a single story. There are all kinds of supernatural monsters like monkeys, fishmen, as well as vampires. All these supernatural monsters coexist in a land which was formerly known as the New York City. It happened 3 years ago when a certain rift opened between Earth and a realm called Beyond. Suddenly, New York became an ecosystem of those different creatures that were all trapped in an impenetrable bubble, and since then, this place was given the name Hellsalem's Lot. Now, the protagonist of this story finds himself exploring this unconventional region for the sake of finding a clue on how he can get his sister's eyesight back. With a distinct touch of fantasy, this anime is filled with action and supernatural elements. Number 9. Shaman King. Shaman King is an anime that made a strong impression on the shonen fans in the early 2000s, but its popularity became stagnant after it released its final episode in the year 2002. However, right now, the reboot version of Shaman King is airing as we speak. It started this April and will have a total of 52 episodes, so for those of you who didn't have the chance to enjoy this adventure story back then, now is the time. As for the plot, there are these extraordinary humans called shamans who have the ability to communicate with supernatural beings, and just for those special humans, there is a tournament that is held every 500 years to decide the Shaman King.
Huh? If you once knew what was good for you, you'd focus on saving yourselves and not your friend.
Number 8. Silver Spoon. There is hardly any anime fan who hasn't watched or at least heard of Food Wars, but the thing is, unconventional shonen aren't just limited to Food Wars. There are also brilliant shonen like Silver Spoon that introduced us to the delight of considerably normal things. The protagonist named Yugo is a fairly intelligent and hardworking individual. He doesn't get along that well with his parents, so he decides to escape his household by enrolling in a distant school. This school happens to be an agriculture school, so Yugo is suddenly met with a series of unprecedented dilemmas as he realizes how difficult it can be to do anything remotely related to agriculture. This is a different kind of anime, and if you are more than an action fan, you'll definitely enjoy this. Number 7. Magi. Here we have an anime that takes you on an adventure full of magic and fantasy. The story revolves around this idea of hidden treasure that can be found in some mysterious places called dungeons. The ones behind the existence of these dungeons are a class of rare magicians called magi. Then, there is a protagonist, Aladdin. He is a young and energetic and not to mention eager to leave his homeland for good and go explore the world. However, as he finally ventures outside his home, it doesn't take him long for those who joined him to become engulfed by the reality of their world. Number 6. Katakayo Hitman Reborn. It has been more than 10 years since this shonen ended, and yet it is still never too late to enjoy binge watching it. The main character, Tsunayoshi Sawada, is not so talented and kinda clumsy middle school boy who also happens to be in love with this school idol. The other students call him Loser Suna, and he knows well enough that the girl he likes is completely out of his league. But then something unprecedented happens. His life takes an odd turn. A hitman from Italy's strongest mafia family appears before him. Now what's kind of strange, twist of fate will help the boy achieve greatness.
鍵をかけておいたよ。おう、上等じゃねえか。しまった、まずいぞ。鍵は職員室。なんだ。どうするの？
Number 5. Seiki K. What is a shonen anime if not for its comedy? Seiki K is an unusually pleasant watch. It is a collection of well-executed parodies, and the comedy in this anime works like nothing else. The main character, Seiki K, is the textbook definition of overpowered. In fact, he is so overpowered that if he didn't keep his powers in check, he might just instinctually destroy the world. And this anime is his story on how he tries his best to live an average life despite his not so average strengths. If you are looking to laugh your stress off, this is what you need. Now guys, from here on out, the next 3 anime that we'll be talking about are a few old classics.
彼女は紛れもなく美しいと言えるな。しまった。調子に乗ってミスった。
I finally found you.
Number 4. Trigun. The protagonist of this anime is a man named Vash the Stampede, and believe it or not, this guy has a bounty of 60 billion US dollars on his head. I wonder how much it would be in berries. Now, you may be wondering what's so special about this guy's head. Well, he is a mercilessly evil that utterly destroys anyone who opposes him. He can turn cities into wastelands for fun, and his existence is so frightening that his nickname Humanoid Typhoon symbolizes fear in the heads of every common man. But is Vash really that terrifying of a dude? You'll find out once you start watching this anime.
What are you doing worrying about other people's money? I mean, what good's it gonna do you?
Nothing at all. Except that this situation is not equal.
Purgatory. Welcome to Purgatory. You downed Sojiro using Shaku's last sword.
Number 3. Ronin Kenshin. The story of this 90s anime centers around a certain man. He is a legendary assassin who wreaked havoc in the final years of the Bokumatsu era. He was rumored to be merciless, and that's what made him so fearsome. However, something made him disappear from the scene during the Great Japanese Revolution. It has been a good long 10 years since then, but the name of this assassin is still a symbol of fear for war veterans. Where is he, and what is he up to? You'll find out in the first few episodes of Ronin Kenshin.
Makes me boil. Can you feel it?
How can I fight a guy like that? Ah, of course, I'll punch him square in the nose. And then while he's stunned, I'll go for his eyeballs. I'll squeeze him till he's begging for mercy and see how he likes taking orders.
Number 2. Yu Yu Hakusho. If you are a shonen fan, you must have heard of Hunter x Hunter. But did you know there is another shonen series by the same author? In fact, there are some people who claim this to be the better than Hunter x Hunter. It is a story of a boy named Yosuke Urameshi. He is a 14-year-old delinquent, and if he were to go on living like this, there wasn't a decent future up ahead. Fortunately for him, his life changes when he instinctually throws himself in front of a moving car to save a young boy's life. This is a shonen story that lets a considerably doomed boy meet supernatural twists and turns a new leaf, and it is brilliant at what it does.
But we can't, Kuwabara, don't you remember? You said you'd kill us if we helped you.
Yes, it goes against your honor code.
ノートなんかなくても勉強はできるけど、あれは学校に置いておきたくない。
そんな深刻な顔するなよ。デスノートってわけじゃないだろ。
Number 1. Bakuman. Even outside of the anime communities, the anime Death Note is quite relevant. It is one of the, if not the most popular anime of all time. But did you know that the authors of Death Note also created another masterpiece? They also created Bakuman, a story that revolves around the prospect of making it as a manga author, and the way it is executed is brilliant. this anime won't only give you insights on how manga is made, it'll also tell you the story of two students who team up and aim to make a living as manga authors. You get to see the manga they draw, their rivals, how it influences their lives, and the dilemmas and challenges they face, their fans, and how difficult it can sometimes be to just create the stuff you like. This shonen is a must-watch, and something that can be recommended to just about anybody.
俺もやるよ。最高と組んで日本一の漫画家になる。
お前じゃなくあずき。
何それ。
So there you go, guys. These were the top 10 underrated shonen anime that aren't always the topic of main interest for the anime communities. I hope you enjoy them. So which one of these are you planning to watch? Let us know in the comment section down below. And if you are already watched most of them, feel free to tell us about them. Now, before you go, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It is always appreciated.